Welcome to Bleachers Speakers. I'm your host, June. I got my boy B Foster with me, and today we're going to discuss the preview of the season finale versus the Vikings. First off, Foster, how you doing today?
Can't complain. Another productive day.
Are you over the Dallas fiasco yet?
Oh yeah, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to move on from that situation. I appreciate all the advocacy that we've been getting from from everybody around the league and all that stuff. But this point
Yeah,
is
it's mute. It's a moot point at this point. It's like it doesn't change anything.
nope.
At the end of the day, it's a loss. But Foss, me and you never we hope that Detroit would win versus Dallas, but we knew it was a strong possibility of leaving with the loss there.
Yeah.
So it's just the way that it turned out kind of ruffled our feathers. But after a couple of hours after the game, I was fine. I mean, I wasn't. I knew it was a bad John. It was bad. It was
It
bad.
was a bad John.
There's no, but what's done is done, and I don't think it hurts that much. I think the seeding was the biggest thing. We did have an opportunity to seed at number 2 uh, in the playoffs, and I was okay until Dave said the economically that could hurt.
Yeah, that's where it hit. That's where it hit for us. Like, yeah,
Yeah, he said the millions of dollars. He said, let's say for instance they get the number 1 seed. That means they're playing every playoff game at home, and all the money generated from small businesses in the city of Detroit around that stadium. That's crazy. I never even thought of it like that.
hey,
But hey, it is what it is. Enough about Dallas versus Detroit. We don't want to get off on a tangent and have any relapses. We're going to move forward, and we're going to talk about the Vikings, who we just seen not too long ago here at home. Foster, are you excited for this game?
yeah. I'm always every game moving forward will be exciting to me. Even a game like this that doesn't necessarily have any type of there's no type of stipulations or you know. But yeah, this is the game before a playoff game that we already have solidified. So I'm excited. Probably not not the most exciting. I think the Cowboys game was kind of the peak of it, but
Yeah.
we still have work to be done today. I mean, on Sunday.
You win Sunday and you're 12-5, and that's a game above me and your prediction for the year.
Right.
So, and there was still some games in the season I felt like we should have won or had a chance to win. I can think
Yeah.
of 2, the Dallas game and the Seattle game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's it's not a it's a good season. It's a good season. We can't forget that we it, we haven't been here that often. Like, let's keep it real. Like, we've had some very very horrible seasons, and this season felt pretty good for the most part. And a couple losses here and there. There was one bad game, maybe if you want to count the Thanksgiving game or the Bears game. But that game was close until that game got away from us in the third quarter
Right.
versus the Bears. Um, we was trailing Green Bay most of the game, made a valiant effort to make it closer at the end. It was just the Baltimore game that was just horrible. So I can take one horrible game out of 17 games, right?
Sure.
and this is for, uh, momentum. I think the game versus the Vikings is more about momentum and more about confidence building. Uh, don't like backpedaling into the playoffs unless you're like 15-1 or 16-0 and you decide to rest your starters. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But if you're going to play your starters, you need to win. I don't know what the plan is. We'll see on Sunday. They haven't said anything about not about benching anybody, but I don't know. I hopefully they play well. They play their starters and get out the game healthy.
Yeah.
So, what are your keys to the game versus the Vikings for us? Same old, or
Um,
do we have to do anything different or
I mean, honestly, I really hope that we come out the gate and punch them in the mouth early and put ourselves in position to where we can rest some of our starters early in the by the second half. Um, we obviously got some guys on defense coming back that have been injured. CJ Gardner Johnson is, it was a full participant at practice pretty much all week.
Hmm,
Aleem McNeil returned to practice this week. He was I think he was limited participant um, this week. So I hope to see. I definitely, more than anything, I want to see the defense continue their momentum.
yeah,
And if we can get some guys in here that haven't played that much, or some guys that are coming back off injuries, that would be a good thing. But I think the momentum we have as far as creating turnovers, your Brian Branches, your Iffies, your Kirby Josephs, those type of guys, I would love to see that momentum continue. Hutch had a great game. He had 3 sacks last week. Um,
mm,
so um, so I would love to see us continue to wreak havoc on Nick Mullins, um, because the last time he played us, he did have a bunch of turnovers, but he also had a bunch of yards.
yeah,
And but
406 to be exact.
right, right. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Justin Jefferson definitely, got pretty busy on us. And but overall, against Dallas, we only held them. We held them to 20 points. We just had a couple, miss. What it that game ended up coming down to was a couple missed opportunities where we didn't make the plays that we needed to make.
Mhm.
Obviously, we didn't get any help from the referees, but we knew going into Dallas that we weren't going to get any help. So,
No.
we put the defense for the most part put us in a position to win, but that big play by Lamb ended up being a major factor in us ultimately losing the game. So yeah, the defense more than anything, I'm not really concerned with. Golf having another tough showing. The Vikings defense um, could not stop the run versus the Packers. They gave up two
Man,
touchdowns to Jaden Reed, and some guy, last name Melton, I don't even know who this guy is, had a touchdown as well. So what Christian Watson didn't even play.
let me interject right there because we had a, show with the and now it'll be posted today after this show. I didn't get a chance to, upload it on, so that show with the North, uh, division with our rivals, the Vikings affiliate and the Bears affiliate, that show will be dropping after this show, probably this evening. I'll drop it this evening. I totally forgot. He sent it late, Foster, so it was like he said it'd be an hour, but it wasn't an hour. It was later on. So, and I totally forgot about it. But when Dave was talking about Minnesota, I was just on the edge of my seat. I wanted to say something, but Minnesota's defense did not show up at all. Green Bay was marching up and down the field the entire game. It was ridiculous. Like Jordan Love looked the part for real. Like I don't even like giving him any kind of props. None. but they were moving the ball very well versus Minnesota, and I think that could be. I mean, Dave never mentioned it. Dave said the quarterback looked lost, but the defense did not help.
Yeah.
So their defense did not look good last week versus Green Bay in a game at home where they needed to win.
Right.
So I don't expect this to be a crazy defense this weekend. I expect us to be able to move the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
The question is what we do on defense. I think we'll be. I think we. This is a game we should win. We should wind up 12-5, and watch how everything shakes out to see what if we do get a seed. In order for us to get a second seed, Dallas would have to lose to Washington, and Philly would have to lose to the Giants. Both teams would have to lose. Me, I don't see that happening. They're playing. They're the two top teams in their division playing the two worst teams in their division.
Correct.
We're going to be realistic. It's just if we're hoping for that for a second seed, you can throw that out the window. And I'm pretty sure Coach Campbell knows this. I'm pretty sure that the Lions know this, the personnel on the team, assistant coaches. I'm pretty sure they're all aware that the second seed is a long shot at best. And it's out of our control. All they can do is basically win. They have to win. Lions do have to win. So regardless of what everybody else does, the Lions have to win. They have to play their game.
Right.
I am not looking forward to Justin Jefferson, though. What CeeDee Lamb did was, even if you take away the 90-yard touchdown, that's still a heck of a day for him.
So he had over 200 yards.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
would have still had over 100 yards receiving, if not for that 92-yard touchdown. He still would have had like close to 140 yards receiving.
Yeah.
That's still a day for a wide receiver. But that play was such a fluky play. Like
Down to the missed sack,
down to the missed sack and the corner falling. And he just threw that ball up and it was right on the money.
Hell of a throw.
Man. It was a perfect throw. Perfect throw. And it was a huge momentum changer. Like that going from a possible safety to a touchdown is weird. That's wild. That can take the win out of yourselves. But the Lions defense hung in there so tough after that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people calling for Aaron Glenn's job in the middle of the season. I don't understand it, but hey. I mean, the defense has had some bad games, but they're winning games. Even with the worst defensive game was versus probably Baltimore. And
Ravens.
the second one was versus the Chargers, a game we won.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're hollering about Aaron Glenn, but I think he's done a lot with what he has. And once the pieces got healthier and he inserted Iffy in the lineup, things started to change. When was Iffy's first game versus Minnesota? Or was it the game before that?
He played a game. It was earlier in the year, though.
I'm talking about when you notice a change in the defense, when Iffy started making plays. That was versus Minnesota the first game, right? Or was that Denver? It was Denver.
That's when he had the sack and with the
Mhm.
forced fumble that
It was versus Denver.
Bugs.
Now, I don't know if you remember Foster, but after the Denver game, I remember thinking, if he had a good game, we don't know if that's going to happen again. it's happened every game where he's made plays.
Yeah,
Um, versus Denver, that's when it started, because he had a monster game versus Denver. He had a crazy game versus Minnesota. Then good game versus Dallas. He had an interception.
definitely.
First quarter. He's out there making plays. So the confidence has to be through the roof. He's out. Sometimes when you're playing football and you make some plays, or you don't make any plays, or you haven't been out there in a while, your confidence is kind of like, you know what I'm saying? It could cause you to think too much. I think he's at the point to where his instincts are just taking over. He's just playing ball right now.
Hmm.
And it's a big difference when you're nervous about making the play and having to think what you have to do, and just instead of naturally reacting to what you need to do. You have your assignments, whatever position you're playing, you have your assignments, you have your responsibilities. I think he's just out there playing. He's paying attention to the scheme. He's doing his assignment. So
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think.
yeah.
Go ahead, Foster.
I mean, it hasn't been an overnight type deal for him. I mean, he's in his
No.
third year, so he's definitely he's definitely probably gone through some growing pains, because I mean, he's changing to a whole different position, and he's had some time to sit back and just study from the Tracy Walkers and Kirby Josephs, and just some of those veteran guys that have played, that have been playing around him for the last 3 years. So
Mhm.
it's good to see it all come together, and it couldn't have happened at a better time, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. It was the shot in the arm that Detroit defense needed. Um,
Especially with CJ Gardner Johnson going down, because um, we needed another playmaker, and Kirby Joseph has kind of, I don't want to say digress. I mean, yeah, I don't want to. I want to say that he's had a decline, but he's definitely having a down year in comparison to his rookie year. I, you know, feel like it hasn't been quite
well,
the same. He had two picks. He had two picks in that one game
yeah,
recently, but he I think he had like what he had two on Aaron Rodgers alone. I want to say he had 5, 6 interceptions last year. So
look that up. I
right.
wanna see how many interceptions he had last year. We're gonna get to a break, but Foster, check that out real quick, and
Yep, I'm
we'll be
on it
back
right
on the
now.
other side. Calling Kirby Joseph. Kirby Joseph, how many interceptions did you have last
Oh,
year?
okay, so he had 4 last year.
How many does he have this year?
He has 4 this year, but he recorded 2 games ago. You know what I mean? Like up until
But he recorded 2 last year late as well, Foster, versus
yeah,
Green Bay.
I think he's struggled. I want to say that. I mean, I don't want to bring this point home too
Mhm.
much, because it's kind of irrelevant at this point. But and maybe it's just because he had high expectations going into the year. But
I think that's what it is.
um, I mean, we went through a rough patch with the secondary, you know. So yeah,
I think we put a higher standard on him heading into this year,
yeah,
especially with the help that we thought he was gonna have. Remember at the beginning of the year, we were thinking Mosley was gonna be a contributor.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
we were thinking, CD Deuce was gonna be a major contributor all year. He went out after the second game. We figured Branch would be good. Um, so we figured Campbell, a linebacker, would have major contributions as well. Uh, we just knew Hutch would have more sacks, even though he had 3 last game. That puts him at 9, if I'm correct.
yeah. It's not.
So it's like, but we expected more out of Hutch this year because he had 9 last year. We expected more. We expected double digit sacks out of him. So I think we put that a higher expectation on Kirby, you know, and he's basically on par to match what he did last year,
Yeah.
pretty much. Because he had two late interceptions versus Green Bay as well. That was the last
He
game.
had 2 in that he had 2 in that game?
I think so.
I thought he just had I thought
I
he had
could be off. I could be
1
off, but
against
I know he had an interception late versus
Yeah, yeah, the
versus there.
last game he definitely it
Yeah.
looks like he's ranked, looks like he's ranked around 15 as far as safeties.
That's not bad.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the onus is we put a heavy expectation on and rightfully so. I mean, if he does.
Mr. Mullins definitely helped him out. He had 2, right? He had 2 that game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll take it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
I
it's
hate
very
how
difficult to get 2 interceptions in a game.
I hate how the PFF the the website you gotta like pay for this stuff.
But
Whatever.
we'll figure out a way. But I think we put a and rightfully so. We if you have that kind of a rookie season, we expect you to come into the next season to 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 be better than what you did last year. I think he's on par to match what he's done last season. Um, but I feel very comfortable with him playing safety though.
Yeah.
There was a couple games early he was out of position though,
Yeah.
and I want to say versus that was Kansas City. I remember one play specifically he was out of place, and because I remember CD Deuce got in his face like, "Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Come
really?
on now." And then there was another couple of plays versus Seattle where he was out of place.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get it. He probably not playing up to the level, but like I said, expectations can ruin, reality.
True. True.
Do you expect him to have a good game this week?
I sure hope so. He should be going in there pretty confident after a 2 interception performance though. So
I think what's going to happen, Foster, is they're going to they're going to double Justin, and it's going to be up to the other wide receivers to step up for Minnesota, and I think they can. That's what's scary. They can. It's not scary because it is. It's going to be what it is. But I think the other two wide receivers, Jordan Addison, KJ, and the other guy, what's the other guy name? Number 4.
Cook or no Powell. I always want to call
Wow.
him Cook. Yeah.
Those receivers are very well capable if they're single covered.
Is there any incentive for Justin Jefferson, who's in a contract year? Is there any real incentive for him to play this game?
I
I really
mean,
don't. I really don't see it.
they still have a chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah, but he's got a bag on the line, a gigantic one. I don't think it. I guess it.
That's Justin Jefferson. He's going to get a bag unless he like tears his ACL or something like that. And that's
You see what I mean?
yeah,
I hate to
yeah.
bring it up. I hate to bring it up.
I feel
TJ
you because it can happen. I mean, that's a
TJ Hawkinson just got paid. Luckily,
yeah.
tore his knee up.
I don't think he's going to sit because he sat so many games earlier in the year.
That bag is secure.
Does he stay in Minnesota?
It's kind of him or Cousins. I feel like, right?
I mean, isn't it up to him though?
Uh,
Is he
I,
a restricted free agent or is he?
even if he's restricted, they would have to. He can go get an offer sheet, and Minnesota would have to match it. But
Okay.
I don't
The
really.
reason why I asked because you said it's either him or Kirk Cousins, so
Yeah,
that means they have a lot of say so on what's gonna happen. So if he's unrestricted, it doesn't matter how much money they have, he's gonna go where he wants to go. And I think there's some very interesting places that need a number 1 wide receiver with a good quarterback.
that are you saying that already have a good quarterback?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, I think I just throwing it out there, Kansas City needs a number 1 wide receiver.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying. Kansas City could use a number 1 wide receiver. I think Frisco doesn't have a number 1 wide receiver.
Samuel Debo.
I mean, he's like the Swiss Army knife on the team. He's catches the ball out of the backfield and does all the other things. He could be your number 1, but
Yeah,
can you imagine the damage you could do if Debo is your number 2?
yeah.
Because he would be your number 2 if Justin goes there.
Oh yeah, everybody. He goes anywhere. He's the number one.
Yeah. I said there's a couple of teams out there, NFC East, um, that he could go and they have a quarterback in place. I don't know how comfortable he is with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is coming back from a Achilles tendon,
Yeah,
and he's an older gentleman,
yeah.
so that doesn't mean what I'm saying he's going to bounce right back. He still has to do rehab and all that other stuff. May not be the same. I mean, it could very well go somewhere um, that needs a number 1. But that's not our problem.
Nah, it's not. It's not. Well, yeah. Well, the I guess the discussion was why is he even playing this game? Is the reason why we went down that rabbit hole, but it doesn't really matter, I guess.
I mean, the Lions play indoors. If just saying, Justin,
Oh
you
God, yeah.
want to go to a winner, and you won't be doubled as much with St. Brown in the slot, and
And he
Laporte.
might he might be looking at 3 straight losses to the Lions when it's all said and done because we beat them obviously the last time, and then we beat them uh, in December. It was either December or early
Yeah,
January
this
last year.
this would be number 3 in a row.
So can't beat us, join us
Should have
now.
been 4 in a row because we should have won that first one there. It was
Right.
up 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
Correct.
But
That's not how you
I'm just saying, Justin. I mean, there's number 1 receiver slot over here. St. Brown's a slot. Laporta, running game. I mean,
Woo.
they have
Game
no reason to double you when you have all these weapons and J-Mo on the other side.
Gibbs. Oh my God.
I mean, you can stay in that rabbit. I mean, that hamster wheel of a franchise if you like. I hope Dave doesn't watch this show, man. I hope Dave doesn't watch it. No offense, Dave. I like Justin Jefferson. Would it be crazy if he like wanted to go to Cincinnati
Oh my God.
and play with his boy?
I don't even think they can pay T Higgins, so that'd be a tough one.
Hey, T. Higgins is a monster, man. I like T. Higgins.
Yeah, he's nice. He's gonna get paid this year too. So
Foster, like next year, there's a lot of cap money with the Lions.
yeah,
Is there any? I mean, we should have thought about this before the show because we would have had this mapped out. I'm just willing to see. I just want to see who's available as a free agent next year because you may not be able to get. I'd rather go after a proven corner in free agency
yeah,
than to draft one. That
yeah.
way I can focus on my defensive rush end, my defensive end, and hopefully get a linebacker. I can, you know, get other parts of the defense that I feel are necessary. If you
Mhm.
can pick up a corner on in free agents, I want let me Google that because I think I can find out.
The free agency is very deep at
Mm,
defensive line. I just want to let you know that.
defensive line?
Yeah, the top corner is Jalen Johnson from the Bears.
I
Jalen Johnson
mean
and
I
Legarius.
mean, if you wanna play in a dome and you know what I'm saying, you be the number 1 corner over here, Jalen, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, him
You
and Legarius Sneed from the Chiefs. Um, Chiefs got some decisions to make.
they're going to they pay a lot of people.
Yeah, you got Kelsey to pay. You got Mahomes that's making a whole bunch of money.
They just paid Chris with Jones at the beginning of the year.
So did they re-sign him or did they just pay him for a year? Because
I
because
think
Chris
they I
Jones
don't
was actually the top free agency on this list. I mean, free agent on this list. It says tag. Oh, they put a tag on him.
Oh, so he decided to play after they put the franchise tag on.
Yep,
So they have to make a decision with him.
yep, yep. He is the number one. He is the number one guy. It says the projected contract is 4 years, 120, 30 per.
Well,
Josh
that's
Josh Allen for the Jaguars as well. So
yeah, I'm looking at these free agent. Okay, let me go down the list, right? Chris Jones, number 1 rated free agent next year.
yep.
Josh Allen, the edge, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hmm.
Brian Burns, Carolina Panthers, edge.
Yep.
Justin Matabuk, not like I'm saying it wrong, but the defensive interior, Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
Christian Wilkins, defensive interior, Miami Dolphins. Safety, Antoine Winfield Jr.,
It's
Tampa Bay.
crazy that how vividly I remember his dad playing, and his dad played corner. So when I
Dad was
saw
a
the
beast.
when I saw the name, I'm like, oh, that's probably a corner, but nah, safety.
His dad was a beast in college. I don't remember him going that crazy in the NFL, but
He played.
At
He
Ohio
played
State,
for, oh, right. Yeah, he played at Buffalo. He was
he was decent.
yeah.
Jalen Johnson, Chicago Bears corner.
Yep. Yep.
Ladarius Sneed, as you mentioned, the 2 corners, Kansas City. Danielle Hunter, edge, Minnesota Vikings.
Danielle.
Daniel, sorry.
Danielle.
Danielle, he spells it Danielle. Kendall Fuller, cornerback, Washington Commanders. That's we getting one of them.
Think so.
Out of the top 10 free agents, and we have all that money, we need I wouldn't feel I'm not necessarily concerned with the defensive interior,
No, not at all.
but
We
edge and
we kind of got
corner,
to talk about that though. We got to talk about that. Just the
y
practice squad.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We'll take another break real quick, and we'll get back to that because I got a question though, Foster. I really got a question about the latest cut. We'll be right back. There was a roster move, um, right after I mean, right after I saw the tweet, maybe a couple days later. Bugsy made a tweet thanking Detroit Lions fans. And for those who don't know, that's Isaiah Buggs, defensive interior. And he said, on to the next. And I was like, oh wow. Then he was he waived or released?
He was. I don't know the difference. I should know, but he was cut. Whatever that. I think it's all.
One implicates a certain kind of way you can be picked up, and the other one
Well, breaking news 45 minutes ago, he actually was picked up.
by who?
The Chiefs. On the opposite side, if we got to see him in the Super Bowl, we got to see him in the Super Bowl. But I'm not mad. I'm glad he's not on the Packers or the Rams, because he could have went anywhere.
Right.
And I'm happy for him. And it's one of those situations. And I'm going on a little bit of a rant, but it's one of those situations where it's like there was stuff going on there from the very
All
beginning.
season.
Yeah,
All
like
season.
so because he wasn't activated for the first couple games of the year, right?
Right? And
After being
he was fussing.
Yeah, so there was some issue. There were some situations there. His most, he was in and out of the lineup. But the likes of Benito Jones and Pascal, and we signed the guy from the Steelers. It's crazy because he played on the Steelers. One of the I cannot think of his name and I cannot pronounce it. But one of the Samoan guys, he played for the Steelers with Isaiah Buggs, and he was like, he had made a post about it and he was excited about it and stuff like that. But he's one of those guys that I feel like when he gets into a different situation that's more favorable for him, I think he's going to be able to flourish. I don't think he's going to have any issues, jumping right in there in Kansas City and making some noise. So I wish the best for him, but I'm glad that he doesn't have to line up against us and attempt to make us look crazy, because that would be awkward.
Yeah. Do you know who when you cut a player, waive something, it's usually a roster move that takes place, like you take away something, you add. Do you know who did we add?
So, well, so McNeil has been on the IR for 4 games,
Mhm.
and I think he officially was off for the 4th game. So and he's back in practice. So I feel like you're left to believe that he is he's one of the reasons why that happened. James Houston has obviously just came back. We actually released Kabinda and brought him back to the practice squad. So he's another guy that's kind of back in the fold. But like I said, the guy that we got from the Steelers, who played, I want to say he played like 30 snaps last game, and I wish I could remember his name, because there was a way to look it up. But Tyson Alua.
The fullback?
Nope, he is a defensive tackle. He plays the same position that Bucks plays. It made him expendable. Yep, he made his debut against the Cowboys, and he had he had a tackle and an assisted tackle, and he I think he played about 30% of the snaps, they said. So I think they
Really?
made the decision that he would be a viable replacement, because they also had to cut Bruce Irvin in the process of that too.
He's cut.
Yeah, you know that.
All right. All right. All right.
But we got
You got Houston coming back though.
Houston's coming back, CJ's coming back, and McNeil's coming back. So those are guys that you can only, and then you still got obviously Broderick Martin, who hasn't played all year, but Eric Glenn pretty much said that that pad level is a major concern for him right now. And being that he called him 6'7", but he's listed as 6'5". But that's a big boy playing in the middle. So he's been pretty much labeled as a project guy, and we I trust the vision of Brad Holmes in this one, because essentially, if he was a project guy and a guy that had to sit back before he was unleashed, so I believe that the fact that we traded up for Broderick Martin and all that, I still have faith that he can develop and show us something next year. But I don't plan on seeing him. I don't plan on seeing him anytime this year. But we're deep. Benito Jones. You got Kaminsky, who plays inside, outside. You got a lot of guys. James Houston, who's returned. Lee McNeil and James Houston have returned to practice. Both limited reps, but they are on their way back. I would not be shocked to see. I think it's more likely to see McNeil than Houston, but they're all coming back for the playoffs.
I think if they're limited in practice, you don't play them this week.
But that's why it's so encouraging that CD Deuce has all week has been a full participant in practice.
He's
You got to see him.
He's different, but when it comes to limited practice, that means they're not. You're protecting them. You don't want to wear them out, or risk re-injuring anything. So,
and it's exciting to be able to have the luxury of thinking about stuff like that. Don't worry about it. We gotta load it. We're loading up for the playoffs. Like, it's very rare that we're not fighting for our lives right now, and haven't been
exactly
since Minnesota.
Exactly. So don't rush players back. Not right now. You need all hands on deck for the playoffs.
Defensive line has been our biggest. Well, the pass rush had some issues, but that's been our deepest. That's been our deepest position group, despite the fact that on one end of the defensive line's role has been up and down. We've been deep at defensive line all year long.
Yeah, for sure.
Pascal, Hutch, of course, Benito Jones, Lee McNeil has 5 sacks. He's still the second has the second most sacks on the team, and he's been sitting for the last 4 games.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I wonder if Isaiah. This is so random, but I wonder if Isaiah Bugg scores that touchdown. Do we still cut him? Remember that the
he wasn't going to Foster. He was not going to score.
Yeah, but I don't want to get too much into the hypotheticals. Like, let's say it was like 40 yards, because he did, But
yeah, he had a good 10-yard sprint.
That would have been tough to cut a guy, tough to cut a nose tackle that scored a touchdown.
So you saying even just never mind what really happened, if he scores from there, do you keep him?
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about. Can you imagine that? 33 yards. 33
You're
yards.
asking the wrong person.
He ran 33 yards before he got tackled.
You're asking the wrong person.
Why you say that?
Because I wanted to keep him anyway.
Right.
I didn't want to see him go.
I gotta assume it's not my place to assume. Something was going on there.
There was something going on all year.
He didn't even start. He didn't even start the season against the Chiefs. Like,
he was fussing. He was fussing about his playing time.
Yeah.
So it was something going on. And it's been going on.
And it never got, because at one point I feel like we thought that it was resolved, but it obviously wasn't.
It didn't get fixed. It didn't. It never got resolved.
I hope for the best in Kansas City. I hope he tears it up. I hope we see him in the Super Bowl. That'd be no, I don't want to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. We got to see something.
I don't think Kansas City makes it to the Super Bowl though this year.
Nah, I'd say best case scenario. Anytime, I don't care who we see in the Super Bowl, because if we seeing anybody, I'm happy.
Yeah,
that's more so what I'm saying. That's more so what I'm saying.
Amazing feat to be there. But the teams in the AFC, that are really a little bit scarier than Kansas City,
There's definitely some scary teams. Yeah.
Baltimore, and Buffalo starting to peak right now.
Yes. Yes. Oh yeah, they beat the tar out of the Cowboys.
Yeah, they're starting to peak right now,
No, you're right. You're right.
and they're a very dangerous team when they're on.
Yeah. Luckily, we ain't got to worry about those guys. We got enough. we got
We got
enough
enough.
stuff to
We got
worry
enough.
about,
We got
man.
we got Philly. We got San Francisco over here. Dallas.
Because as much as I want to hate on Jalen Hurts and them, like we not gonna act like Swift ain't having a Pro Bowl type year.
Man.
We're not gonna act like Hurts ain't
Yes.
Hurts. You know.
Yeah. We are going to pretend like Swift is not having a Pro Bowl year. We are going to. I have to correct you there, Foster. We
Yeah,
are
because we
going to
got
throw that out of our minds.
yeah, because Gibbs might have got snubbed this year, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Next, well, 2 days, 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
It goes down here in Detroit. Is that a 1:00 game?
Yes, sir.
Where are you watching the game?
Oh, I'll probably be with wifey, to be honest.
Okay. Okay. Well, I don't go anywhere to watch football games. I really don't. You know, I do a lot of fussing and yelling.
Yeah.
You should have seen me yelling the Michigan game the other night.
Oh, yeah, I can bet. Oh, I can only imagine.
So yeah. I'm gonna watch the game at home. I'm going to make a prediction. The Lions win this game 31-10.
Ooh. 10? Wow.
10.
How many interceptions is Mullins going to throw? That's the real question.
He's not going to throw for 400 yards.
Well, yeah, I hope not.
I think the pass rush gets home a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that offense will be it won't be as it was the first game.
No. Yeah, offensive line seems to be falling apart from what I've heard. So
now I did a prediction and I don't. Can we get a prediction from B. Foster? What does B. Foster think is going to happen Sunday?
you said 30. How many would you say? 31-10?
31-10.
See, I don't want to say 31. I'm gonna say 28-17.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
So check us out, Motor City Metrics on the YouTube. You can also check us out. Subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers. That's me and Foster's new page. We'll be adding a couple clips. There's 3 videos up there now. So go ahead and check those out. Like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. And you can check us out on any of the podcast streaming platforms. That is Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Just type in Bleachers to Speakers, FFSN, and you will check us out. Download the episodes, and you can hear us talk about football. What we gonna do in the off season, man?
We definitely gonna elaborate more on that free agency situation. We got mock drafts. We got we'll just see how this
I
season.
wonder if they'll let us. They'll let me bring my digital camera to the draft. Probably won't be able to bring a tripod.
What, as far as interviews or what do you mean?
I mean, as far as me and you can get footage talking about the draft and this, that, and other. Probably won't get any interviews from anybody, no, but
Nah, yeah. I mean, your phone is your best tool.
probably.
You can always get in with your phone.
Probably.
iPad.
I just wanted to look professional, you know.
Yeah, media, you know.
I got a press badge and everything.
Right. You know.
Let's get out of here, Foster, man. We will be back here immediately after the game Sunday doing a initial reaction, and I don't know if it'll be a. It just depends on how Foster feels if we're going to do a full show after the game, and I guess whatever happens in the game kind of dictates that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we go in there and we just look phenomenal for 4 quarters, and we're probably gonna talk about it a lot more than we would 5, 6 minutes. So if we go in there and bomb, then it's like,
Moving forward,
on to the playoffs, whatever.
right.
Yeah. So we'll be back here immediately after the game, and we'll go from there. Foster, you got any last words?
Let's stay healthy, get this win, and
Sure.
see who comes back this week, man.
Bleachers speakers.